welcome to my first vlog as President-elect. I wanted to take this opportunity to tell you a bit about myself, but first let me tell you why I decided to step forward to be President. I've had the privilege to work with some fantastic mentors, either during my training in Scotland with Professor Alec Elliott and Professor Dave Wiper, or during my time as a postdoc fellow at the University of Cambridge, Professor Jarrett and Steve Keevil. And all of them at some point have said, but why not? If I ever showed the slightest hesitation to step forward and upwards in my career. So when the opportunity to step forward for the presidency came up last year, I did not hesitate. It's been too long since IPEM has had a female president. 1990 to 92 was the last time when we were the Institute for Physical Sciences and Medicine. I joined in 1993, and quite simply put, you can't be what you can't see. So here I am, see me, as we enter the third decade of the 21st century. I am the first female president of IPEM, and my ambition is not to be the last, and I need all of you to help me achieve that. But who am I, and why should you be interested in anything I have to say? I grew up in inner London during the 80s and 90s. Neither of my parents went to university, and we weren't well off. But I wanted for nothing, and my mum prized the education she never had the chance to have. I went to a small comprehensive girls' school and I loved physics and chemistry. I almost got expelled in the fifth form for graffitiing on walls, but elected to leave anyway to go to sixth form college. I got average grade A levels and went to the University of Glasgow to study astronomy and astrophysics. Hello, Chris Stacey, fellow classmate of 93. I liked to hang out with the art students and party, got a tattoo and graduated with an okay degree. But in my fourth year, I'd taken the medical imaging module and got hooked. Luckily for me, the medical physics training scheme in Scotland was created the same year I graduated. I applied and was accepted as a basic grade trainee at the Western Infirmary. It was after I completed my Part 2 training and completion of my PhD that I took my first official position within IPEM B, as it was known then. At the suggestion of Alec Elliott, I applied for the membership registrar. That was back in 1999. Fast forward to 2017, and by then I'd spent 5 years as a postdoc researcher in the United States, 1 year in industry, 5 years as a postdoc in Cambridge, and 5 years as a clinical scientist at University College Hospital, Nuclear Medicine Department. For IPEM during that time, I'd been a member of the MRSIG, learnt loads during that time, thank you John Thornton, VP for External Relations at the suggestion of Steve Keevil, Chair of the Comms Committee, Member Trustee for EDI, thanks Kim Saint for suggesting that. Oh, and not to forget, the tedious competency committee involved in the STP curriculum for non-ionising radiation. Thank you Martin Graves for keeping that one on track. Of course, although this sounds terribly ambitious, I never thought of it as such. More that I wanted to be in the tent throwing you-know-what out rather than outside the tent. You know how the rest goes. I was reflecting on this with my friend and neighbour Mark McKell when the subject of fellowship came up. He said incredulously, "You aren't a fellow, why on earth not? Look at all the stuff you've done." And now I find myself here in 2022 as President-elect. So as you can see, I've had a career that is far from conventional. I've worked in academia, both here in the States, NHS and industry. There's a lot going on out there. Some of it frustrating, some of it tedious, but most of it really, really interesting. So I'm asking you, the membership, to join me as we navigate through the sublime and the ridiculous to build IPEM into the professional society we want it to be. Fair, equitable, representative, leaders of science and healthcare. Talking of leading in science, don't forget to register for STEF, Science, Technology and Engineering Forum, the new and improved MPEC in Glasgow next spring. The promise is to be an exciting programme relevant to all. If you want to know more, follow me on Twitter or LinkedIn and contact me at King's College London. There's a lot more to come. Thanks for listening.